welcome back to my Otoshi Monologues, my excuse to talk, rant, and embarrass myself in front of all of y'all. Today I'll be talking about my trip to the Imperial Palace. Well, I guess more like the Imperial Garden, because we didn't actually get to see the palace. And I have my first tea time for you, where I will be testing the Panda Tea that I picked up from Don Quixote a while back. But first, I thought I would share my experience of eating this pudding cup with you guys. Mika told me about these pudding cups when I saw her a while back, and I was so confused when she was explaining to me how it worked, but just look. So you know how it's really hard to unmold jello or like the tapioca coconut dessert? Well, does Japan have something for you? Japan has utilized science to solve that problem for you. When I first saw this, I was like, it's so simple, but it's genius. You flip your pudding onto a bowl or plate, and then you just flick this plastic nubby on the bottom, and pop! There goes your pudding. Yes. Very entertained. Now some may be wondering,
can't you just eat your pudding out of the cup and not dirty another plate or bowl?
And to that, I say, yeah, you probably could. But then you wouldn't get to enjoy this jiggle action. If you couldn't tell, I'm very easily entertained. Oh! Oishii! One more tangent before going to the Imperial Palace. Look at this campus I get to hang out at for the next 2 months of my life. It's so peaceful, and I feel like I'm in a movie set. I can just sit under the trees and contemplate my life. Very millennial. Okay, time to go to the Imperial Palace. The Imperial Palace is a palace in the middle of Tokyo that's surrounded by this huge old park, protected by this huge old wall, surrounded by a moat. Very secure. The reason for all these protective barriers is because the royal family of Japan still lives in that palace, which is within the inner grounds inside the park. And it's only open on January 2nd for the New Year's greeting, and February 23rd for the Emperor's birthday. The rest of the year you can get a guided tour, but to my knowledge, you never get to go inside any of the buildings within the park. Anywho, seeing that we were here in September, we just got to wander through the outskirts of the park. But as a nature enthusiast, it was still pretty enjoyable. But on another note, don't rely on Google Maps in here because it can't pinpoint your location. Better brush up on those map reading skills. Anywho, I digress. We walked inside and got our little visitor token, which you have to make sure you return before you exit, and then we went off to see all the nature. I think this is a pomegranate, or at least it was one at some point. And then we stumbled across this tree garden where they have one tree to represent each of Japan's 47 prefectures. Here's the homeland Hiroshima tree, hashtag Otoshi Pride. And here's an osmanthus tree, producer of one of my favorite tea flavors. But to my disappointment, it didn't smell like tea. Like, it had no smell. And I tried really hard too. Aww. Here's some Japanese architecture. And here's this funky Japanese water fountain. When you try to drink out of this fountain, it plays with you. The water doesn't stay at the same level, so you end up playing bobbing for apples to get some water. Just look at this dummy who shot himself right in the face with it. Introducing Julian. Then onto the pond we go. Look at this greenery. And these tourists.
We stopped this program to bring you Japanese creatures. Look at the majestic koi, remaining unwavering as little bugs ripple the water above its head. See it now, as it mingles with its brethren. Marvel at those fancy fins. This has been Japanese Creatures.
And now back to our regularly scheduled programming. After taking some nice Instagram pics, we continued wandering the park. Ooh, pretty flowers. Those are some big fat chopsticks. And here's another example of Japan doing things right. Air-conditioned rest stops. And then we headed for a lookout with this amazing view. Wow! And took some more aesthetic pictures. At 5 p.m. we got kicked out of the Imperial Palace, but look at these construction walls trying to be sneaky. It really does look like a hedge. Japan, you're too much. We exited the palace and got spit out right in the middle of Financial District. I just find it so fascinating that this peaceful garden is just smack in the middle of all these skyscrapers. We got ramen for dinner inside the Otemachi Financial District at this ramen place that also has a location in LA. Look at this setto ramen and donburi. And egg. The ramen was pretty good, but still no Menya Ultra. But the little donburi on the side was a real winner. There was this sweet glazed braised pork and green onions on top, and that sweet and savory combination, 10 out of 10. When we finished, we wandered around, enjoying the beautiful night lights of the city with this fun building. We worked our way into an indoor marketplace with these quaint boutique shops. We stumbled upon Italy, an Italian market, per Julian's request, and wow, so much Italian stuff. Look at this olive oil tasting. It tasted very regular to me. After Italy, I stumbled upon this cheesecake tart place called Marron, and I picked myself up a nice chestnut cheesecake tart. And we end our day with this nice Tokyo Station stamp. Now, a review of the cheese tart. A+. The crust is a very nice, dense, crumbly crust with mondo amounts of butter. It's like those egg roll cookies if you were to grind them up and then put more butter in it and then rebake it. The middle was so light, fluffy, and smooth. You could hear the air bubbles popping as you bit into it. It was almost like the meringue of a lemon meringue pie. It's a very nice sweetness, not overly sweet, with a pronounced starchy chestnut taste, while still having that signature cream cheese flavor. I still don't know how to describe the taste of a chestnut. It's its own flavor, okay? And now that I've had my dessert, time for some tea. Welcome to tea time. This week, Panda Tea. Today I will be trying this Panda Tea. It is supposed to have barley and hojicha as some of its main ingredients. Allow me to waft the fumes. It kind of just smells like another barley tea. Ah yes, definitely a green tea. It's got the faintest scent of old Chinese person house. It smells like when you're cooking dong, you know, like the Chinese tamales. I don't know what you call them. My family calls it dong. You can taste the slightest bit of sweetness, which comes from the sugar cane. Kinda just tastes like barley tea. It does well balancing the barley and hojicha. It's not a very strong tea. It's been brewing for maybe like 5 minutes. It has the faintest flavor of sesame. I don't know what else I can add. I mean, it tastes okay. There's no like bitterness. There's no like tea aftertaste. It's warm. I feel like I'm walking through a Japanese garden on a nice spring day. Overall, I think if you gave me this tea, I think I could guess that there was green tea and maybe some barley in it. But after that, the long list of ingredients kind of lost on me. But as a regular tea person, pretty enjoyable tea. Lots of different leaves combining to make this one marvelous cup. I approve. Overall, the hojicha is definitely the strongest flavor in this tea. If I try really hard, I can taste there's barley in here, but if you were to just give me this, I wouldn't think it was special, but it is very good tea. And this has been Tea Time with a tea devotee and little ol' me. And with that, that brings me to an end of this Otoshi monologue. Thank you for coming to the Imperial Palace with me and reviewing the cheese tart and the tea. I hope you guys have a great day, a great night, sleep tight. And I'll talk to y'all next time I do something interesting. Mata next time! Oh, hello. Ugh.